What should I use? Notion? Oh, how about Asana? Okay, actually ClickUp. Ah, well, no. Trello. Yeah. Trello is way simpler. Well, have you asked these questions yourself? I'm here to help you out. So, hi, I'm Julius, and in this video, I'd like to cover a few, things about project management tools and applications. Well, including task management, and that involves all of the apps I have mentioned earlier. Now, what really is your main goal or main use case for setting up a project management system? Or actually, the better question is, why would you like to use this kind of systems? Right? I'm not here to religiously or just direct you to, you know, since I am not directly affiliated with Notion, but I am a Notion ambassador. And the reason why I'm a Notion ambassador is because Notion is a great tool. It's great for project management, it's great for CRMs, it's great for a lot of things. And I've built lots of workspaces for business professionals, for companies, for organizations, and a lot of these, you know, startups and just businesses in general. So, again, I'm not here to just push you to use Notion. I'm here to ask you a very good question. Why do you want to use these apps and what is your actual use case? Well, here's the thing, right? Some people just need some kind of simple system to streamline things, and that is fine. You can either use very simple systems as well. It can either be complex once you build it out to be complex. But one of the simplest applications is Trello. So you imagine a pipeline. Well, there's no actual screen recording right here, but I might just include one. Anyway, imagine a pipeline so you understand what that is. You just move tasks. Tasks are represented by cards, which are boxes with certain informations, and you can open them up to actually expand the information that you can see. So each of these boxes, you move from left to right along in a straight pipeline until it gets finished, right? So this is Trello. And Trello boards can also be converted into simple tables with all of these statuses. Now, you can do all of these things and ClickUp in Monday. I forgot to use Monday. There's also Teamwork, but we're just going to talk about these applications where you can be flexible in the systems you create. So now, as I talk about what Notion can do, I'm also going to include information of what other apps can do, what Notion can, right? So the only thing really that separates Notion from all these other applications is the easy relation when it comes to databases. So, in a simple canvas, think of it this way. You are creating one you're creating a system from scratch, and you are now presented with a blank page with a blank canvas inside Notion. And a blank canvas is similar to a blank page in Google Docs, right? Now, in order for you to create a system that has relations to other databases, you will just simply have to create one database, which is you can do that by typing slash database or any of those keywords, any of the letters starting from the word database. So DAT. Now, Notion will give you an option to create a database, and then it will set up a table for you. So a simple table in Notion, there's a title and then properties, which are the columns, right? So you can rename these properties with whatever you want. You can also change the property types, which is, a select property, a number, a roll up. If there's a relation, the roll up would basically take data from the relation and look up the available properties of that next database. So here's an example. We want to create a project management system from scratch. Number one, you create a database and you would title that with the word project. Then you would name it. You would change some property names. The default property name is name. You will like to change that into title, and then duration of the project, and then create another database. And you would call that tasks. And then you add another column, which is another property, and then you would find the word relation, which is available in the property functions. And then you would click on the relation. And then that would basically relate, you know, when you do this, you will have options to choose among the databases that you have in your workspace. So it actually depends on when you start the relation from. What database are you adding that relation? So if you are in the projects database and you want to link that projects database to the task database, then in the projects database, when you click on relation, you have an option and then you will see tasks, because the thing with Notion is then you can also self-relate. So that would mean that you can create self-referencing relations in Notion. And this is when we deal in the complex part of Notion. But projects and tasks, once they're related, as you can see now, we have two databases. So now you can have a list of the projects and then you can have a list of the tasks. Each task that you add in the task database can be linked into projects. So what if you have three projects at the same time and each of those projects have three different tasks? The good thing about relations in Notion is that these information are being held in one kind of view and glance. You can simply have this information by looking at two separate data with different data sets that is just linked to the other database, which is the project and the tasks. You can have them in one view, and then you can set up complex and more advanced functions, which is if you have three tasks for project A, which you have in the projects database, then you can set up a roll up function with the status. And you can actually, there is a way that in this project roll up, you can find the percentage of completed tasks based on the status that you have, which is a status property in the task database. Now, if two completed tasks out of three related to project A has been implemented or initiated, and then you have a roll up that is looking up for the progress of the amount of completed tasks, then you can also turn this into progress bars. So these are, all these are from recent updates. And now I'm just focusing on Notion. Question is, you're just talking about all of these technicalities. You mentioned that you're going to also discuss some other capabilities that other applications have. Well, happy to tell you that only Notion can do this. And perhaps, none of what I have mentioned. There is Coda, which is very similar to Notion. But right now we're focusing on Notion and versus ClickUp, Asana. So you cannot do this in Asana, you cannot do this in Monday, and you cannot also do this in ClickUp, not in this way. So I am really pushing Notion now if you are looking for a more customized kind of system setup. Now, when do you stop using Notion? And when do you switch to other applications such as Asana and such as ClickUp? Well, if you are more focused on streamlining tasks, really, Asana is really good in retaining information and attachments included. Asana is really good when it comes to task management and project management. And if you are just needing that use case, then perhaps you can just use that because they have a very intuitive user interface. And I've used it, and actually I love it. The thing that I don't want to use Asana is because, sorry about that. The thing that I want, the thing why I stopped using Asana is because there are other details and information that I require linking to my projects. So, say for example, notes. I can just set up a notes database, link it to a project, and have self-referencing filters and link that database, which is the notes database, have that in my project dashboard, and then, have all of these centralized data and actually cut down information as you dig deeper. So think of it as nested pages, and you have all central databases for projects, for tasks, for notes, for files, documents, attachments. And then you can easily have all of these information if you need to without going to the projects page and finding that file, finding that note. You don't need that anymore if you have a central database set up in Notion. You cannot do that with ClickUp. You cannot do that with Asana. I believe that in ClickUp, they have this kind of feature where you can see all those files. But it's a very, I'm sorry, I gotta be honest, it's a bit clunky for me. It just looks too technical. I need some kind of simple interface where if I need to see simple data or database, a simple table, and have all of the files that I need, and just, later search on its related or linking project, then I'm fine with that. That's what I would prefer, right? Now, those kind of things. The thing with Notion is that you have to set things up. There are available templates you can find online, but really, because of the flexibility that Notion offers, it's more often quite difficult to really get a hang of it unless you're already good at it, and you can easily customize each of these pages, each of these templates into what you need. The thing and the good thing about ClickUp, Asana, and other applications such as Trello and project management tools is that they offer linear process when it comes to doing things. And while ClickUp has, you can transform a simple database into a list, into a board, into a timeline, into a calendar, you're still stuck into this kind of process. Whenever you do this, this is the kind of workflow that you need to do. You cannot just jump on pages, go back into this page and do things here, do things there. And perhaps that's good, because if there is a linear and very, very, very effective SOP, and which is there's really none, users always go through the same process of getting their hands used to whatever software they're using. Everything has a steep learning curve, and not all applications have the same steep learning curve, right? But eventually you'll have to spend time learning all of these things. And perhaps, also Notion can't do what others can do, which is in ClickUp, if you are, say for example, real estate, and you want to simply move a project to a specific duration, and then you want to have all of the tasks underneath that moved as well, it's kind of difficult to do that in Notion. But now there is what we call subtasks, and basically Notion is slowly getting there when it comes to these kind of things, right? But again, central databases, and these are really the most difficult part, and really one of the best that Notion offers. Is just that when it comes to central databases, you are very much limited to the data that you can share to your clients, because they need to have access to whatever you have as well if they need to edit stuff. But there are always workaround in this kind of process, but that is fine. So really, I might not have dived deep into each of the applications, but Trello, stuff like that, Asana, they just don't offer the flexibility same with Notion. Notion, and what's on par with Notion is ClickUp and Monday. But even there, ClickUp, Monday, there really is no application similar to Notion aside from Coda. There really is no application where you can freely and freely just customize these systems in a very easy fashion and have this kind of prototype where you can just, once you set it up, you're good to go, and then you can streamline the things that you need. If you are really good in Notion, then you can do this in a very quick time. Set up systems in less than a day, half a day, and you can set up a company structure with all of the financials, all of these and that. That is what you can do with Notion. And with ClickUp and stuff like that, well, it would take you more time. And I'm saying that as someone who has tried these apps as well, because it just requires more setup and the technicalities involved in there. So yeah, um, that is it. And I hope you got quite a lot of information of really what Notion can do. And again, I'm not pushing it because for other applications, say for example, again for real estate, and if you prefer better UI, Notion does not have a modern user interface. What Notion have is a very simple and minimal interface, including embed files. These kind of functions is not really good with Notion. ClickUp is more suitable when it comes to integration with other applications. But again, there is always that but, because in Notion you're trying to centralize the information in one single page. And I know that there are limitations to that when it comes to, embed forms and stuff like that. But again, you can still do all of these things in Notion, which is I don't find easy to do in other applications, such as capturing information and moving it from here to there. This is just one thing that ClickUp has, an upper point. When you create notes, you can easily create checkboxes, turn it into action items, and have it linking to your database, which is the tasks database. ClickUp has a very good way of doing that. Notion doesn't. You can just, you can link it, but then again, if you want to pull up or, transform this piece of long description text and turn that into action item, then you would have to link or copy it and go into the task database and paste that information, turn it into a task. Or the second step would be, if you want to do it the other way, you can just copy the link of the task database, paste it inside the notes section, and then filter based on whatever project you need to link the task into, and then move that descriptive text into the database, and then you will turn it into a task. But again, you are changing the structure of the note already, and that is not good. So, these kind of things, when it comes to capturing information, ClickUp is very good. It's just that their documents is not as easy to navigate if you compare it with Notion, and that's not good. So when it comes to deciding which applications you want to use, really, is that you just have to really identify and determine what sacrifices can you make, because it's not easy to have two applications that offer some kind of offer the similar features, just variations of it. It's not good. So you have to realize at one point where you're sticking into. And again, the thing with ClickUp is that their system is slow. It's getting more slow now, and a lot of users have been really, they are frustrated because of this. And also Notion has some bugs, but it gets resolved in a quick amount of time. I guess the longest will be 1 or 2 days. With ClickUp, there are instances where people can't access their data and information for really few days, and that is bad. That is so bad. But yep, again, I guess I'm just pushing Notion now, because as I think through the things, what are which is actually good. Notion, the bad thing with Notion is that all of these features, and it sounds like it can do a lot of things, which it does. It's just that, again, to be able to understand these things, you'd have to try it out yourself, and you'd have to learn it, not really the hard way. If it's set up right, if, say for example, you hire a Notion consultant to actually do this for you, to set up your whole company operating system in Notion, and if it's done right, then they can just create onboarding, and it would be as easy as 1, 2, 3 to actually learn how the system works. But if you have a kind of clunky system with no proper SOPs, documentations, tutorial videos on how to do it and how to do that, then really you're in hell, because it's not going to be easy with all of these filters, sorts, and you might actually mess up systems. It's just for people who are not used in Notion databases and systems, it's going to be hell. But then again, once you learn how to do that, you can very much easily spot the errors of your process and be able to, set up the systems, recognize your wrongs, and then just be able to transform whatever it is that you need by yourself easily, and transform it into something that would be effective for your business systems, processes, and just the workflows of everybody. So yeah, I think I said a lot of things now when it comes to Notion, but that is the reason. That is the reason why you can actually start using Notion and learn how to use Notion, because you can set up systems and it is very handy. A lot of people have been looking for, quick systems that they can create, even just for private, right? Because if you have and you are part of a Notion workspace, you have a section that is just for private things where you can just keep things, notes, information for yourself. If you want to try things out, imitate system structures, databases, you can do that and tweak things without actually getting the main database or what you are replicating from messed up. So, do I need to give the verdict now? Not really. But yeah, that is the reason. And I sound like I'm very passionate to talk about it because it's just a very interesting tool. The only thing that I wanted Notion to do is that I wish there is a way to have client information linked databases be able to be seen by invited people, and not, I just wish for other people to be able to see filtered databases without getting access to the main database. That is what I want, right? That is what I want. And be able to actually edit those information. So if I'm filtering a view, linking it to a specific page, and then because why? What use case do I have? It's basically for client projects and dashboards. If you're using a central database, the good thing about that is that you can see all of the tasks linking to different clients in a single database and single table. And then it's easy to monitor all of these tasks if you do it that way. Now, if you would like for clients to collaborate and you're using central databases, you are not going to give them access to the main database because they're going to see other client information. So you don't want to do that. What you want to do is copy this view into the client dashboard, filter that to only display the information that is relevant to the client, and then have the client interact with the filtered view of the database. If Notion can do that, it's heaven. It's heaven for agencies. It's heaven for every contractors who set up systems. But it's not easy. And Notion can do that not at this point. So, yeah. There is a big rant, and I hope Notion can find a way through that. But then again, that is it. I'm not gonna talk any much longer. I might just actually sound like I'm very much pushing Notion. But even at this time, I'm still looking for other applications that can do quite a lot of things as well. So I'm open for that. But you can You can already do more complex things with Notion through automations, which is there's Integromat, there's Make. They are the same, by the way. We just rebranded. We used to have Automate.io, but now it's bought by Notion, and now it doesn't work anymore. There is Zapier, which is kind of very expensive, but it's so easy to do. There is Pipedrive. There is Integrately. There's a lot of automation software out there that you can use. But then again, that's it. So if you need help in using Notion, then make a comment below. I can actually, um, we can chat quite a bit about how to use it or not. If you need help in setting up your business systems, whether you're a professional athlete, whether you're a coach, I had coaches who I've helped to set up client dashboards for them. If you are running a business and you don't have really a proper system that, flows properly, flows effortlessly, smoothly, then you can reach out. But again, this is not a business blog. This is me talking about why Notion is interesting, and also other applications, why you should use this and why you should not. So that's it. Cheers and bye for now. See you on the next video.